Yet, as others retreated, India saw opportunity. Rather than flee, New Delhi invested nearly $10 billion into Mozambique's coal and gas, hoping to turn crisis into strategic advantage. Why does Mozambique matter now? Whoever controls its energy controls more than profit. They can influence the global order. With China, the United States, and Europe circling, India's gamble could tip the balance of power for decades. Not long ago, Mozambique dreamed of energy riches. Then, insurgents swept through its resource-rich north, shattering hopes for a liquefied natural gas empire once valued at over $20 billion. Investors fled, Western banks withdrew, and Mozambique's future dissolved into uncertainty. What if one of the century's most daring energy gambles is happening right now, hidden in a nation few can locate on a map? Picture India's Foreign Minister, J. Shankar, arriving in Mozambique, a fragile African state where the stakes could not be higher. While much of the world looks elsewhere, a silent contest for power and billions is unfolding. So why did India take this risk when others ran? To understand, look deeper into the forces drawing world powers to Mozambique's hidden wealth. Mozambique is among Africa's poorest nations, yet beneath its soil lies immense coal and natural gas reserves, mostly untouched and capable of transforming the country's fate. If India fails, the loss will be more than financial. Its energy security, diplomatic leverage, and influence could unravel. What happens in Mozambique may ripple through energy markets and world politics, shaping our shared future. For years, global energy giants circled, but in 2014, India moved decisively. As its own coal dwindled, Indian consortiums snapped up major stakes. This was about more than business. It was a race to secure energy for over 1 billion people and claim influence in Africa's resource surge. Still, India pressed ahead. The promise of Mozambique's riches outweighed the risks, a price worth paying for energy security and global standing. Yet, as India's coal ambitions took root, a single discovery would change everything, thrusting Mozambique into the center of the world's energy drama. India's timing was deliberate. With Western and Asian rivals vying for control, New Delhi knew the window was closing. Mozambique's coal was a lifeline, but the true prize was influence in the global energy order. Securing these assets promised not just fuel, but a voice in shaping tomorrow's world. But Mozambique's ground proved challenging. Indian firms faced broken railways, strained ports, and fragile roads. Local communities, worried for their livelihoods, resisted foreign mining. Meanwhile, global appetite for coal waned as climate concerns grew. Every step was a wager. Missteps could trap billions in stranded assets, while hesitation risked losing ground. In 2010, off Mozambique's coast, geologists uncovered one of the richest natural gas fields of this century. Overnight, Mozambique shifted from obscurity to the heart of a global energy rush. The country seemed poised to leap from poverty to a major liquefied natural gas exporter. The find triggered a stampede. Western and Asian energy giants, including India's ONGC Videsh and Videocon, raced for stakes, competing with American, French, and Japanese players. This was not just about gas. It was about regional influence and energy security for the next generation. With gas projects paralyzed, India's coal investments became lifelines. Holding stakes in both sectors allowed Indian companies to hedge their bets. If gas faltered, coal could still flow, providing crucial backup in a world desperate for reliable energy. The risks were enormous. Prolonged delays threatened both Mozambique's ambitions and India's ability to meet its needs. Rivals, China, the United States, Europe, hovered, ready to step in if India faltered. One misstep could trigger economic shocks and shift the global balance. India's goal was clear: secure long-term Mozambican LNG for its soaring needs. The vision was vast. Ship gas thousands of miles across the Indian Ocean to power over 1.4 billion lives. For India, Mozambique's gas meant more than fuel. It was the key to energy independence. But opportunity soon collided with chaos. In 2021, violence erupted in Cabo Delgado, the heart of the gas boom. Militants attacked Palma, forcing the French giant Total Energies to halt a project worth over $20 billion. Construction stopped, workers fled, and investors pulled back. Suddenly, India's energy dreams and Mozambique's hopes were hanging by a thread. With hundreds of billions at stake, the race for Mozambique's energy has reached a fever pitch. But as new deals were struck, deeper questions emerged. Could India and Mozambique outmaneuver rivals and secure the energy future they craved? Yet, as hope dimmed, insurgents were pushed back and international investors returned. Mozambique's LNG dream flickered to life, and the race for Africa's energy was on again. By 2025, renewed security and a surge of American funding revived Mozambique's LNG projects. The once stalled megaproject roared back, drawing the world's attention to Cabo Delgado. India doubled down with a bold strategy: coal for immediate needs, natural gas for future supply. This not only fuels India's vast demand, but also gives New Delhi leverage as the global energy order shifts. The stakes are immense. Whoever prevails will shape supply chains, alliances, and global power for years. Those left behind risk losing access and influence for decades. Mozambique now stands at the center of a new great game. It is more than an exporter. It is a battleground where economics, security, and diplomacy collide. What happens here could reshape how Africa interacts with the world, and how global powers compete for its resources. Yet India is not alone. China sees Mozambique as central to its Belt and Road Initiative, investing in ports and infrastructure to secure long-term access. The United States, aiming to counter China, has invested billions, determined to keep American firms involved. Europe, eager to end its Russian gas dependence, looks south to Africa for a lifeline. Behind every deal are real communities facing harsh trade-offs. Yet, amid these deals, a deeper question lingers. What does this contest mean for Mozambique and its people? As billions flow in and world powers compete, Mozambique faces a crossroads. Choices now will echo through society for years to come. For many Mozambicans, the energy boom is both promise and threat. Families are uprooted from ancestral lands for mines and gas fields. Compensation rarely matches the loss. Rivers run murky, fields shrink, and traditions fade as industries reshape the land. Mozambique must choose massive investment, risking upheaval, or hold back and risk being left behind as the world moves to cleaner energy. The clock is ticking on fossil fuel riches, yet turning down billions is daunting for a country seeking stability. Meanwhile, in India, policymakers focus on energy flows, not displaced families. But Mozambique's dilemma is global. If the green transition accelerates, India could be left with stranded assets, abandoned mines, and worthless stakes, while Mozambique bears the scars. Prosperity, promised by foreign investment, often glitters from afar. On the ground, the gap grows between winners and losers. Gas terminals and coal trains enrich elites and foreign investors, while locals face rising costs, lost livelihoods, and deepening inequality. Some fear today's boom could spark tomorrow's unrest. If this gamble fails, Mozambique could be poorer and more unstable. India's ambitions may collapse, leaving both nations worse off. With so much at stake and so many futures on the line, what lies ahead? Mozambique is no longer a distant backdrop. It is the crucible where a new world order is being shaped. The decisions made now will resonate for decades. To truly understand what is at risk, we must consider both the flow of money and the human cost. India's wager over $10 billion in Mozambique is more than business. It is a bold gamble on the future, with the potential to shift energy routes, alliances, and global power balances. As the dust settles in Cabo Delgado, the stakes stretch far beyond the region. What happens here could trigger shockwaves, shifting energy prices from New York to New Delhi. Each dollar invested, pipeline built, every ship of gas that leaves Mozambique could decide which nations rise or fall in the energy race of this century. In the end, Mozambique is not just a resource frontier. It is the arena for the next great energy contest. Here, history will judge whether bold risks can shape the future, or if old shadows, instability, and rivalry will win. But this is not just a story of contracts or numbers. It is about millions of lives in Mozambique and billions more across Asia and Africa, whose futures now hang in the balance. If India's strategy succeeds, it could anchor energy security for generations and rewrite the rules of global influence. If it fails, it becomes a cautionary tale of ambition outpacing certainty.